Throughout history, the sun has been more than just a celestial body. It has been a symbol, a deity, and a source of awe for countless civilizations. From the towering temples of Egypt to the mountaintop rituals of the Inca, humanity has always sensed that the sun is more than just light. It is life, power, and perhaps judgment. At Infinity Beyond, we pause from the science to reflect on the spiritual and philosophical legacy of our star, and what it tells us about who we are. In ancient Egypt, the sun was Ra, the all-seeing god who sailed across the sky in his solar bark, bringing light by day and battling darkness by night. In Aztec mythology, the sun required constant sacrifice to continue rising, blood for light, in a brutal yet symbolic economy of survival. The Inca Empire worshipped Inti, the sun god, whose divine descendants were believed to be their emperors. The great temple of the sun in Cusco was covered in gold to reflect his glory. Even in Norse mythology, the sun was pursued across the sky by a cosmic wolf, destined to be devoured during Ragnarok, the end of days. The message across cultures is strikingly similar. The sun is sacred, but also dangerous. It gives life, but can also take it away. In philosophy, the sun has been used as a metaphor for truth and enlightenment. Plato compared the sun to the form of the good in his allegory of the cave, what illuminates reality and makes knowledge possible. In Buddhism, the rising sun symbolizes impermanence and renewal, each day a chance to begin again. We see the sun in art, poetry, religion, and science, a constant across cultures, eras, and worldviews. It is both a fact and a feeling. We orbit it physically, but also culturally and emotionally. In modern times, we've stopped worshiping the sun and started ignoring it, at least until it reminds us of its power. Solar flares, blackouts, and geomagnetic storms are a stark reminder that the sun is not tame. It does not rise and set for us. It burns constantly in nuclear fury, oblivious to our cities, our satellites, and our ambitions. At Infinity Beyond, we argue that this disconnect is dangerous. Not because we should go back to sun worship, but because we must return to a sense of respect and humility. Perhaps the most poetic truth is this: the sun is a mirror. Its cycles, storms, and rhythms reflect our own. Just as the sun goes through periods of calm and eruption, so does humanity. Just as it gives life freely, it can also test our resilience. And just as it has shown for 4.6 billion years, it reminds us how brief our time truly is. In our next segment, we'll explore how understanding solar storms and cycles can actually give us a window into the distant future, not just of Earth, but of the sun's eventual death, and what will happen when its light finally fades. Because to know the sun is to know both our origins and our destiny. The sun is not eternal. One day, billions of years from now, its nuclear heart will falter, its fuel will deplete, and its light will dim. At Infinity Beyond, we take you far beyond solar storms and blackouts, into the cosmic future, where the sun's final act begins. Right now, our sun is in the main sequence phase, where it steadily fuses hydrogen into helium in its core. This phase lasts approximately 10 billion years, and we're currently about 4.6 billion years into that journey. But hydrogen is a finite fuel. When it runs out, gravity will take over. The sun's core will contract, heating up until it begins fusing helium into heavier elements like carbon and oxygen. As this happens, the sun's outer layers will expand massively, engulfing Mercury, Venus, and possibly Earth, turning our once warm star into a red giant. Its surface may cool, but its size will increase over 100 times its current diameter. In this swollen state, the sun will vaporize nearby planets and boil Earth's oceans, if our planet survives gravitationally at all. The atmosphere will be stripped away, and any trace of life will vanish. Earth's story will end in fire. Yet ironically, the sun will shine brighter than ever in its final breaths. Not a peaceful fade, but a violent blaze of cosmic transformation. After millions of years in the red giant phase, the sun will finally become unstable, shedding its outer layers in a brilliant wave of gas and plasma. What's left behind is a glowing planetary nebula, a colorful shell of light stretching across space. At its heart remains a white dwarf, a hot, dense core no larger than Earth, but with half the mass of the original sun. This stellar remnant will no longer produce energy. It will simply cool, slowly, for trillions of years. The nebula may eventually seed new stars, new planets, perhaps new life. Though the sun will die, it will not vanish. Its atoms, created in fusion, will spread into the galaxy, becoming part of other systems. The calcium in our bones, the iron in our blood, the carbon in our DNA, all forged in stars like the sun. At Infinity Beyond, we reflect on this poetic cycle. From dust we came, to dust we return, but it's stardust. In our next segment, we'll explore what happens after the sun is gone. What does the future hold for the solar system, the Milky Way, and the universe itself? Because if the death of our star is only one chapter, what comes after could reshape everything we thought we knew about existence. After the sun's death, the solar system will drift into cold silence. The planets, those that survive, will continue orbiting a dark, burnt-out white dwarf, no longer bathed in life-giving light, but held by ghostly gravity. The warmth that once powered atmospheres, oceans, and civilizations will vanish, and our cosmic neighborhood will fall asleep. At Infinity Beyond, we peer into this dark future, not with fear, but with awe. For even in the silence, the story continues. Mercury and Venus will have been consumed. Earth, if not vaporized, will be a barren cinder, frozen, atmosphere lost, tectonically dead. Mars, farther out, may linger longer, but without solar energy, even its once promising surface will become a lifeless tundra. The gas giants, Jupiter and Saturn, may retain their structure for a while, but without energy input, their storms will fade. Their moons, once candidates for life, will freeze solid. Even the Kuiper Belt and Oort cloud, regions of icy comets, will remain, but in total darkness. The solar system becomes a graveyard, silent and static. Yet in this stillness lies something profound: cosmic memory. The sun's core, now a white dwarf, will shine faintly for billions of years, slowly cooling into a black dwarf, a hypothetical object no one has ever seen, because the universe isn't old enough yet for one to exist. It won't explode, it won't collapse. It will simply fade, pixel by pixel, into thermodynamic equilibrium, a cosmic death by stillness. But this white dwarf still contains the story of our star, like the final glowing ember in a dying campfire. Even as our sun fades, the Milky Way continues to spin, and other stars will rise, die, and be reborn. In 4 billion years, our galaxy is expected to collide with Andromeda, forming a massive elliptical galaxy that will reshape stellar life forever. Earth will be long gone, but its atoms may find their way into new worlds, new suns, perhaps even new forms of life. As Carl Sagan once said, we are a way for the cosmos to know itself. What does the sun leave behind? Not just light, heat, or particles. It leaves behind us, creatures born from its elements, thinkers who built telescopes to stare back at it, storytellers who turned its fire into poetry. At Infinity Beyond, we believe that even in death, the sun is eternal, because its existence echoes in everything we are and everything we may become. In the next segment, we'll zoom out even further into the fate of the universe itself. Will it end in fire, ice, or something stranger? Because if stars like our sun die, what happens when the last star goes out? One day, trillions upon trillions of years from now, The last star in the universe will burn its final atom of fuel. No more nuclear fusion, no more radiant heat, no more light in the void. The universe, once ablaze with galaxies, stars, and suns, will enter its final chapter, the era of degeneracy. At Infinity Beyond, we invite you into this haunting cosmic dusk, where even light itself is a memory. After the last red dwarfs flicker out, only remnants of stellar evolution remain. White dwarfs, neutron stars, black holes. These objects are no longer alive in the stellar sense. They do not shine, grow, or burn. They endure. Galaxies become invisible. Planetary systems become unbound. The cosmos grows darker and colder, every second stretched by an expanding fabric of space. In this far future darkness, black holes rule. They roam silently, consuming matter, colliding with one another, forming ever more massive singularities. Some black holes will merge into supermassive giants, hiding quietly in the darkness. They are not evil. They are entropy in motion. But even black holes are not eternal. Thanks to Stephen Hawking's theory of Hawking radiation, black holes will slowly lose mass, emitting faint particles across eons. Over time, unimaginably long stretches of time, they too will evaporate. The last great fireworks of the universe will be the final quantum whispers of dying black holes. At this point, time becomes meaningless to humans. We measure years by orbits, by suns, by shadows, none of which remain. What will exist then? Dark matter and energy still permeating space-time. A few lonely subatomic particles, the fossil ruins of what once was a brilliant, creative universe. No observers, no life, no heat, no structure, just stillness.